we can share it later on. So we will first start with the O-Level 2020 Part 2, Question 1, right? You have given a purchase database, and then you have given some values. First of all, it asks write down the number of fields and records in the above table. Can you quickly write your answers? You have already done this. Number of fields. Yes. I'm going slowly, but take your time. I'm going to type the answer here. Yes. Number of fields. How many fields? Yes, 1. So fields come from here. That means the columns are fields. So we have supply ID, item ID, purchase data, date, and quantity, which means we have 4. That is number of fields. Number of records. Okay, so that means number of rows, except the first one. This is the header. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we can say number of records, that is 5. Easy question, right? Then it will ask, write down the most suitable data types of purchase data, purchase date. Yes, what are the date, purchase date, and quantity? So we can say supply ID, item ID. Usually data types can be considered as text for those two, right? Because they are, we are not going to use for calculations, so number is not an option. So data type for purchase data. Purchase date. What is the date type? Okay, remember we said date and time, both, right? Quantity, number of item purchased. Yeah, it should be a number. Why number? Why number? Not a text. You can use it for calculations, isn't it? If you know the price of the item, we can find the total cost, for example. Good. So that's the first one. Easy one, right? Isn't it? Right. If you have sat for the exam in 2020, I don't think this is a difficult question. Sometimes people used to complain that 2020 exam paper is difficult. I think you should decide. Okay. Right. Let's go to 2020 part 2, question 3. Following are the partly shown relational database tables that are used to store information about supervisors' projects and projects supervised by supervisors in a university. So we'll have supervisor table. There we have supervisor ID, first name, last name, and department name. Then we have project. We have project ID and start date. Then we have a supervisor project. We will have supervisor ID, project ID, and allowance. Okay, so we have 3 tables. Right. Okay, state whether primary keys and foreign keys. So forget about the part 1. We'll answer it later on. Let's try to identify what are the primary keys and foreign keys. Right. Supervisor. What is the primary key? Let me know. Foreign keys, if you have any, right? Yes, can you let me know that? Yes, I want you to identify what are the primary key. What is the primary key for this one? Yes. What is the primary key for supervisor? And foreign keys, any foreign keys, please hurry up. What is the definition of primary key? A field or set of fields, or it could be a one field, it could be multiple fields, which can be used to uniquely identify each of the records. So look at supervisor. What is the primary key? Which one you think we can uniquely identify each of the records? We know names are not going to work. Department name also not going to work. You see there are some duplicate values. So in a primary key, no duplicates are allowed. So yes, which one is the primary key for the supervisor table? Yes. Sichda, can you tell me like what is the primary key for the supervisor table? Okay, good. Devmini, can you tell me what is the primary key for the supervisor table? Yes, we can say it's supervisor ID. Definitely, this is the one. And now we have to look at for foreign keys. Is there any foreign keys? Only common one is supervisor ID with supervisor project. But then again, we will discuss this. We have not discussed this, but supervisor ID is not a primary key for supervisor project. So because of that, we have no foreign keys. No foreign keys. Right. Now let's move on to the other two, table project. Yes, can you quickly type? Yes, primary key for the project table. Primary key. Yes. We have project ID and start date. Which one is a primary key? Yes, it's project ID. So you can see we have unique values. Foreign keys. No foreign keys. Because we know project ID is connected to this one, but this is not a primary key. We have not discussed this yet. Yes, now let's look at the primary key. Yes, supervisor project. What is the primary key? Supervisor ID, it's repeated. Project ID, repeated. Allowance anyway, that amount you cannot take it as a primary key. So which means one key is not, one field is not enough, isn't it? For supervisor project, one key is not enough, one field is not enough. So we have to combine two. Exactly. Yes. So when we say primary key, we have to combine. What do you have to combine? Supervisor ID and then project ID, isn't it? When you combine, you can make it unique, isn't it? This is what exactly we call it. So we can say primary key is supervisor ID, and I put plus to indicate that I'm going to consider both project ID. So this is the primary key. Okay, great. About the foreign keys, yes, are there any foreign keys? Now, when you talk about, okay, but before that, so when you have more than one field, we use a special name for this primary key. What was it called? When there are more than two fields, we use a special name. What was it?
Composite key.
Exactly. We call composite key. So this primary key is a composite key. It's a composite key. Good. It's composite key. Good. Because there are two, right? Now the foreign keys. If you take supervisor project table, do you see any field is common? Yes, we see supervisor ID is common with supervisor table, right? And the second one, the second condition, it should connect to the primary key of that table. Yeah, that is also correct because we know supervisor ID is the primary key for supervisor table. So from here, you are trying to connect to that. So which means supervisor IDs, there are two keys. First one, supervisor ID. Yes. Don't put plus here because there are two. If you want, you can comma separate. What is the second one? Project ID. So you see, project ID is connecting project ID in project table. And that is actually primary key of the project table. So the project ID is a second foreign key. So we can say project ID. Right. I think now we have discussed the primary keys and foreign keys of all the tables. Right. Now I think we can easily answer. Right. We will go here. Now it's a supervisor ID is a foreign key of supervisor project table. Supervisor ID is a foreign key. What do you think? True or false? True or false? Yes, exactly. Supervisor ID is a foreign key of supervisor project table. Yes, this is true. This is true. Second one, project ID is a primary key of supervisor project table. Can we have the project ID alone as the primary key? No, right? We have already seen this. So this is false. Right? So this is false. Okay, I think majority of your answers are correct. I think this is not a very difficult question, I would say. So let's go to the part 2. Which table needs to be updated to accommodate the following changes? Yes, we have Aruna Vijaynayak is assigned as a supervisor. For the project P002 with allowance of 10,000. Okay. Now Aruna Vijaynayak, right? Assigned for project P2 with the allowance of 10,000. Yes, what tables we need to change? Yes, Andhra Vijaynayak is already there in the supervisor table. Do we have to change anything in the supervisor table? Andhra Vijaynayak is already there. Do we have to change anything in this table, supervisor table?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes. What? Name.
No, I mean Anura Vijaynayak. Sorry, Vijaynayak, right? He's already there, right? Andhra Vijaynayak. He's already here. So this is his information. Do we have to change anything here?
No.
No, we don't. So you don't have to do anything about supervisor table. Look at project. He's going to work for project P002. Do you need to change anything here? Project table? It's about the project 2. Nothing, right? So no changes for the supervisor table, no change for the project table. Then what we have to put is here. What do you have to put? Yes. Andhra Vijayanayak means it's S04. So simply we can say, okay, S04, S04. Yeah, what is the project number? P002. What is the allowance? 10,000. So the only place that we have to change is supervisor project, isn't it? So that means if you go down, right, which tables needs to be updated? Only question is that. So that means we can ask the table name supervisor project. So we can say only supervisor project. Hope you got the point here, right? Andhra Vijayanayak is already there in the table. So then you don't have to change anything. Project P002 is also there. Right, good. Okay. B, a new supervisor, Pradeep Disanayak. Supervisor ID is given S06, joined the Department of Chemistry and was assigned as a supervisor for ongoing project ID 3 with the allowance of 15,000. Okay, what tables you need to change? Right. Pradeep Disanayak. Yes, Pradeep Disanayak. S06, that means here. So what are the information we know? We know it's Pradeep. Right? Pradeep what? Disanayak. Right, we have Pradeep Disanayak. And the department, what is the department? Department of Chemistry. Okay, Chemistry department. Pradeep Disanayak joined the Chemistry department. Value is S06. So in this particular case, we have to change supervisor table as well, because we are including one. What is the next one? Was assigned to supervisor ongoing project P003 with the 15,000. Okay. So S06, we are going to assign it here to which one? Yes, we are going to have P003 and the allowance is 15,000. So there are two tables we need to update. What are the two tables? Supervisor table then supervisor project. Right. Okay. On 15/9/2020, University started new project P0006 with Mohammed Nawaz and Raj Selam as supervisors. An amount of 11,000 is allocated for each supervisor. Write down the new records to be added in the relevant table for the change. Use the format table name, field 1, field 2 for each record. Okay, now we have a new project. So what is the new project? P006, right? We have a new project. What is it? We have P006. What is the starting date? 15/9/2020. So we have 15/9/2020. It's a new project, right? Who's going to do this? Right? Mohammed Naswa and Raj Selvam. Mohammed Naswa, right? That means S02 and Raj Selvam, S03. So both are assigned as supervisors, which means we have to connect here as well. The first supervisor is Mohammed Naswa, that means S02. So we have to include him here, right? S02. The project ID is a new project P006. How much they are going to pay? Yes, they are going to pay 11,000. So here we have 11,000. Then the third one also assigned to the same one, Project 1 is P006. And the value is 11,000. Right, 11,000. Now we have to write down these things. How do you write down? We have to say project table, right? This one, right? So we will say, okay, project table, right? What we have to add? What is the first field? Project table P006, P006, comma. What is the second value? 15/9/2020. We can say 15/9/2020. That is the first record. Second one, we have supervisor project. We have supervisor project. So here we can say supervisor project. We have to have two lines. We can say P S02. Yes, P006. And the amount is 11,000. Right? This is the first one. You can repeat the same way. We can say 03. We can say P006. Raj Selvam, what we have? Was Mohammed Naswa Raj Selvam. Mohammed Naswa is here. Raj Selvam is here. (007) done back. So you can't put it as a new record because already we have the record. Project ID. Okay, that's a good point. Let's look at the project ID. Are we going to say project ID here? Now here we have to say is project ID is a P006. So both of them have attached to P006, not P007. Same project. If it is two different one, then you could have used P007. So S3 also assigned to this project, and the allowance is 11,000. Right? There are two records. Last one. Right. Last one. What are the most appropriate tables to be joined to write a query to find department names of supervisors who supervise the project P001? Department names of the supervisors who supervise project P001. Yes, department names of project supervisors. So project P001, right? Who are the supervisors? P001, who are the supervisors? Can you name the supervisors? P001, P001. Who are the supervisors? Yes, S02 and S04. What we need is S02 and S04. What information we need? Their department names. That means chemistry and computer science. So the question asks, what tables to be joined, right? So what tables we should join then?
Supervisor project.
Yes. Yes, we have to combine supervisor and supervisor project. That's all, isn't it? We want to know who works for project one. It's S2 and S4. And to get their department names, the supervisor's department names, we have to combine with supervisor. So we can say the answer is we can have supervisor project. And then which one?
Supervisor.
Yes, supervisor project and supervisor. So we can say supervisor. I understand this looks very difficult, but remember this is the first question we have done completely. So once you get the practice, you should be able to answer correctly if you're making any mistakes here. Okay, good. I think we have done 2020 paper. How many of you think that it's easy? Right. Let's move to 2019. Right. You know your answers, right? So you can check. Okay. So we have some computing code this time. Yeah. So before man reaches the moon, mail will be delivered within hours from New York to California to Britain to India or Australia. So you see that this is said Arthur Summerfield, which is person from United States Post. You know how long it will take to reach moon, and what they say was a couple of hours. They are able to deliver mail to different parts of the world. But you know now with the technology, within fraction of a second, you can join uh, to you can send a message to any other country in the world. Okay, so that's for fun. Let's move into question 2019, part 2, question 1. Consider the following database table listing monthly sales and commission of sales representatives. We have month, sales rep date, total sales, and commission. Which two fields should be chosen to make primary key of the above table? Can you tell? Can we take month only? No, you can't. There are duplicate values. Can we take sales rep ID? No, you can't. It's also duplicates. Total sales commission, normally we cannot consider. So that means to make the primary key, one field is not enough. So what is the primary key for this table? Primary key for this table. Yes, we have take month together with what?
Yes, sir.
Sales FID should be chosen. So this is a composite key then. We already discussed this earlier, right? Composite key. Second part is easy, right? What are the data types?
Month, figure, text, total size, currency.
Yeah, we can say date and time. No, it should be text, right? It's not, yeah, although I put date and time. I think the correct one should be a text. Isn't it? Because date and time, either you have a date or time. So this is a month only. Date and time could be used. That is possible.
Total sales, currency.
Yeah, what is total sales then? Yes, month field we put text, and the total sales is currency. Okay, so that's question number 1. So let's look at the next part. 2019 paper, part 2, question 3. Again, you have given three tables. Write down primary key for team, then player.
Team ID.
So here what is the primary key? I'm going to put it short, PK. Primary key is what?
Player ID.
Yes, first one should be player ID.
And student ID.
Yeah, but you can't take both. You can have only one. No, Imashi, you can't take both. Right? We can say possible primary keys, player ID and student ID, but you have to take one. So the answer is it could be either player ID or student ID, not both. Right. Let's write down. I think we'll have a small note here. Have a small note. Both player ID and student ID are unique. Only one of them would be considered as the primary key. Right? So one of them. So answer is it could be player ID or it could be student ID. Now, since other tables actually joined with player ID, I think best would be use of player ID. Okay, right. So that's the first part, right? Primary key for the team. Primary key for the team. Yes, it's team ID, isn't it? So the primary key for this table, yes, primary key is team ID. Right, now can you tell me what is the primary key for this table? Player. Oh, team ID. Then player team ID alone you cannot take. Player ID alone you cannot take. Right? So you have to consider both team ID we have play ID. Right. Write down the primary key for the team table. That is team ID. We can just write
Team ID.
Write down the possible primary keys available for player table.
Student ID.
Now, yeah. So we can have two, play ID and student ID. Player ID and student ID. Both can be considered as a primary keys, but remember, we'll take only one as a primary key, right? Possible now. The question asks possible, but if the question asks like what is a primary key, then you have to take one of them. Second one, which tables need to be updated to accommodate the following changes? A new student, PL Alvis, is admitted to the school and joins the under 17 cricket team in 2019. Right, we have PL Alvis. Right. That means we have to add S4205. So we have to say P0007. It says PL, right? PL what? Always.
Always.
So we have S4205. So we have 4205. Okay, so that's about the play. Now then he joined under 17 cricket team. Under 17. (2019)
Player team table.
under 17 cricket team. The team number is T2, right? So he joined the team T2. he joined T2. Right. Okay. So we can say T2, he joined in T2 team. Right. Player ID, we put 1007, but then I realized in the exam, they have given the number for this. They have given PL always assigned 1120. So we better use that one. So this should be 1120. They have already given. Yeah, value is given. If we do not give the value, then we can usually get the next value possible. So he joined the table team T2 and the play ID is 1120 in 2019, right? Okay. So this is what should happen. I'm actually taking extra here. So the answer is which tables need to be updated? Which tables? Yes, we have to include the player table and player team table. So for that, we have to use player table and player team table. Okay, Nimal Fernando is appointed as a captain of under-19 volleyball team. Under-19 volleyball team. Okay, so this we need to change. Under-19 volleyball change means we are going to remove this part. Under-19 volleyball. Yes. And captain is now we are going to change it to what? Nimal Fernando. So Nimal Fernando is here. That means P1006. So now we have to change this part P1006. And this is what we are supposed to do. We'll change. Okay, right. Now again, what tables we need to change? Nimal Fernando appointed as a captain of this one, only one table. So that means team table. So the answer here is team table. It should be team table. Good. So those who are sharing answers, I can see in the chat. So please do share because you can make mistakes, as I told you earlier, but then you will learn. Right. Third one. Yes, can you give me the answers? Write down the new records to be added in the relevant table for the change mentioned is part 2A. Right? So first one we know we have to add PL, right, to this table. So we will say player table. Right, I will take it here, the answers. Player table. We can say player, for example. And first field, what is the first field? Player. Yes, P1120. P1120. Then we can have PL, always. PL Alvis, and S4205. S4205. So this is the first record. Yeah. What is the second one? He joined to the school E17 cricket team 2019. Okay, so that part where we have to put. Okay, player team. We have to put the player team. So player team. Yes. In player team, what are the values we have to put? That's T2 cricket P1120 2019. Yes, we can say T2 P1120, and the join year is 2019. So it was easy one, not that difficult. Right? So let's move the next one now. Okay. So let's move to the next one then. Try the next one. In 2019, we have two parts, right? Part A, only part A. That's all. Second one we don't have to do. Right. In 2019, the school starts a under 17 football team. Team ID T7. And appoints Shane Almeida as a captain. Okay. Under 17 football team. T7. So we have put T7 football. It's under 17, right? That's it. Under 17 football team, Shane Almeida. We have Shane Almeida, meaning P1005. So we have to have P1005. Right. Now that we have know this one, we have to add it here as well. So we have to put it here that team ID is T7. Yes. Captain we know. He should be added here, isn't it? So we have to put P1005. Right. That's in 2019. Okay. We don't know the other ones, but at least we have to have this. Right. Okay. So let's write down this. So B, how do you write? First one is this one. Team. So in the team, we have to add these fields. What are the fields we have to add? What are the fields? So in the team, we have to add all these. Copy paste.
Team ID, team age group,
Yes,
captain.
exactly. So we can put it here. So I can put these values. So this is the team number, and it's football under 17. And here is the captain details. We have added the captain. And then again, so this is tricky because you are going to miss this. That is, we have to add it there. So in player team, I'm copy pasting this one as well. We can say player team, that is T7. Right? P1005005. And in 2090. Right? So we need to have these two. So it says that he's already playing in under 17 cricket team. That's okay. The worst case would be you can change, but I think a player can join any team. Right. Okay. So that's part B. Last one. Can you give me the answer for this one? Answer for the last one. What is the question? The question asks, which tables are to be joined to write a query to find the name of under 19 cricket captain? Name of under 19 cricket captain. Under 19 cricket. Under 19 cricket. Right? Captain. And to get his name, you have to come here, isn't it? Yeah. So which means we have to connect what? Team and player, isn't it? Team and play. So we can say the answer for this one. It's easy. right? So the team, the two tables, team, and we have to combine the other table, is player. That's all. Okay, පුතේ. අපි එහෙනම් අදට එතනින් නතර කරමු. තව එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. පුතාලා මට උත්තර එවලා තියෙන එක මම බලලා එවන්න. අඩුපාඩු ටික බලලා. හරි? අපි එහෙනම් අදට මෙතනින් නතර කරමු.